everyone, I'm back and we're watching more Sailor Moon Crystal. It's gonna be episode 3, Ripples. She was blushing. The enemies disguised as Sailor Scouts. Hey, go Usagi for figuring it out. The pajamas. Yes! Yes! That was definitely one of my favorite episodes. I loved everything about it, and there were definitely some key moments that I made sure to write down that I could talk with you guys about. So the first one I wanted to talk with you guys about is right after Hotaru leaves, Chibiusa is just standing there and she has the, normal anime blush going on, and I thought it was just adorable. I know one of the main ships is Chibiusa and Hotaru, and I don't really think Chibiusa feels that way towards her, but it's just adorable to see her with the, anime girl crush, schoolgirl crush blush going on, and I honestly love that. I thought it was just the cutest thing from there, and I loved it. I just loved it. I had to mention that. The second thing was, we got to meet Hotaru's father, Professor Tomoe. Do not ask me to pronounce his first name, I can't. Something I noticed very differently from the original anime is that he is a bit colder towards Hotaru than he was in the first one. I remember in the first one he was quite open and quite loving of Hotaru and wanted to protect her and everything, and I don't think he knew that she was a vessel until later on in the season. And then he became even more protective of her because he knew that she was the one to carry on everything. But this is what I remember. I think he might have known the whole time, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. It's been a long time since I watched the Sailor Moon S season, so that's just what I remember. But in this one, he seems very cold. He's like, maybe I've spoiled her too much. And he's like, don't be rude to my assistant, she's been helping you a lot since your mother died, kind of thing. And it was just very interesting to see a different perspective of him than I remember him in the original anime. Also, later on, Hotaru makes a reference after her father puts his hand on her forehead. She states that his hands are very cold. And if I remember it correctly, again, don't quote me on this, but if I remember it correctly, in Japanese lore, when a person has cold hands, it means they're very distant and unloving and, just not a bad person, but just very, I'll say it again, cold. He's a cold, not exactly rude person, but he won't show emotions and stuff like that. So it was just interesting that she did, in fact, mention the fact that his hands were cold. It was just sort of interesting. Another thing I really liked was with Chibiusa and Usagi. There was a scene there that I just loved, and I think I loved it because it showed Chibiusa and Usagi in a different light than how we normally see them. Normally what happened with Chibiusa and Usagi is we always just see them bickering and fighting and not getting along. In the last episode was a great example where Chibiusa and Usagi literally fought in the kitchen because Chibiusa was going somewhere with Mamoru and she wouldn't tell Usagi, which was a bit of a rude. It was rude on Chibiusa's part, because if she knew that Usagi wouldn't be able to go anyway, then tell her. That would make her even more upset, I guess. I don't know, but in this episode, Chibiusa is off on the side and Usagi goes over to her. And you see that mother-daughter bond between them. Like, it's just this one image. You see this mother-daughter bond between the two of them, and it's just adorable. Later on, you see the two of them in Mamoru's bed, and Usagi, it looks like, has her arm over Chibiusa in a sort of protective manner. And it just, again, showed that Usagi is Chibiusa's mother, and she's sort of growing and acting more like that. It's just really interesting. Something that I found really interesting was that almost right after seeing the new Senshi, their faces and everything, Usagi sees I'm just gonna call her Michelle. Michelle was her English name. I can't pronounce her Japanese name, I'm sorry, but Usagi sees Michelle and she has a flashback to Sailor Neptune, and it's like, is she Sailor Neptune? And as she's running off to go find the others to tell to tell them her theory, she meets Hikaru. Hikaru? Reynos. She meets Reynos. And again, she has a flashback, and she's like, oh, you know, this guy looks like Sailor Reynos. And she asks him straight out, are you a Sailor Senshi? And I just started laughing. Because, I mean, she didn't actually mean to. She realized later that she asked him right out, are you a Sailor Senshi? And she didn't mean to. But the fact that she made that connection, I thought that was really interesting. That she was able to make that connection. And, you know, deduce that, you know, oh, these two people are the Sailor Senshis that we just met up with, or, you know, they could be. So, I thought that was actually really interesting of Usagi to perform in this episode. It so shows her maturing, I guess, as a Sailor Scout. Of course, you know, Usagi, I think, is still a bit of a crybaby, but she is maturing. Definitely a lot more than how she was in the original anime. And last but not least, probably one of my favorite things from the manga that I do remember this, because, oh my god, I loved this one. Uranus kisses Usagi. I freaked. I will re-added that part. I freaked. Yes! Yes! I thought it was amazing, and later on you do learn more about Uranus, but when she kisses Usagi, we're all thinking she's just a girl. So when we learn later on about Uranus, it sort of explains it more, but oh my god, that kiss! I loved it. I loved it in the book. I love it. I think it happened in the original anime, and I love it in this anime because, in a way, I do sort of ship Usagi with Reynos, but Usagi and Mamoru-chan are my OTP. Like, they're an OTP. I love them. If you haven't watched my top 10 favorite couples, they're number one for a reason. But yeah, definitely, that was my favorite scene in the entire episode, was the kiss. And yeah, I loved it. If you guys have enjoyed this video, if you haven't already watched the episode, I will leave a link in the description box below. I hope you all have enjoyed this. Please hit that like button, comment, and share. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. And I'll see you guys in the next one.